Good Friday morning, my friends. Thanks so much for stopping by. I thought today I would share my little adventure that I had this past week in Charleston, South Carolina. My husband and I and Brenda and her husband, we ventured down to the holy city and spent 3 nights, 4 days, but it really only worked out 2 days, 2 whole days. And we had a wonderful time. Picture perfect weather until something happened the last night. And I have a little video to show you in this video. So I took some snippets along the way, not a lot. We did a carriage ride, and this is like the 3rd carriage ride I've been on there, but it was the first time that I've been on a carriage ride that went to South Abroad, which is where the big houses are. Well, they're all big down there, but you know, the real big ones. And it was very nice. So I have some snippets of that, and our carriage driver was narrating, of course, as we went along. So you probably hear her talking about some of it. I left that in there. And we shopped in the market, but I didn't get any video. Well, I did get video, but it wasn't very good because of people getting bumped and all. So anyway, that's not in there. But we did go to the market. I did make some purchases, which I will share with you at the end of the video. We went out to Folly Beach to take a boat ride out to Morris Island and saw the Morris Island Lighthouse, which has been on my bucket list for a long time, ever since I read Dorothea Benton Frank's book, Folly Island Beach. And this lighthouse was built the year after the Civil War, and it was a working lighthouse, I think, until in the 60s, until they built the lighthouse on Sullivan's Island. So it is not an operating lighthouse now, and sadly, erosion has taken away that point of the island. So this lighthouse sits out in the water, and during high tide, we were there as the tide was coming in. So it was low tide and the tide was coming in. So you could get a good view of the base of the lighthouse. But when the tide is fully in, it comes up on the lighthouse and it's all on a little strip of land all by itself that you cannot get to. And they don't recommend swimming out there because of the current. It used to have a lightkeeper's cottage, a school, a fort that was active during the Civil War. I think it was called Fort Wagner, and all that is washed away because of the jetties and the things they put in the Charleston harbor to keep the harbor deep for the container ships to come in and out. It has affected the way the land shifted at Morris Island. So that was really interesting. We ate at a lot of good places. I'm trying to talk fast to get it all in. So our hotel was fantastic. Brenda and I had stayed there before, but it's on Vendu Street, right where the pier goes out, where you catch the water taxi, and where there's a fountain where kids can play in it, and just a few steps down from the pineapple fountain. It was a great location, just great. And they had a rooftop area where you could have breakfast or drinks or whatever you want. It was just such a great hotel. I totally recommend it. They serve cookies and milk at 8 o'clock at night, a charcuterie with wine starting at 5 o'clock. On 2 days a week, they have a tour guide that'll take you down and give you the history of the waterfront of Charleston, because what you see there at the waterfront was not there originally when Charleston was founded. It's been built out. So the actual original Charleston was further, like 2 blocks inward. So anyway, with all that being said, at the end of the video, I will show you the things that I purchased. I will try to put a timestamp, so if you don't want to watch me take you on this little tour, then fine. But I just do appreciate you stopping by, I really do. So without further ado, let me show you the video.
here in Charleston, that's for sure. Now, if you have a good eyes, you can tell we're up here at Rainbow Row on the right-hand side, right? So beside this big, nice take photos, Rainbow Row, there's a lot of history here as well. This is the longest selection of Georgian row houses left in the United States. A row house means that they are connected together. There's no separation between the homes, right? The purple one here sold last year $4 million. Arched doorways, again, mean these were all the warehouses for the ships. This kind of ships are right across the street right here. Because all these wharves were private docks that extended out into the harbor. You can still look onto the porch from the other side of that door. That does not stop a law for privacy. You would have been told, most of these have, over the past 30 years now, right? So most of them have been able to be restored and repaired, right? But it took a lot of time.
Yeah.
I think everyone's trying to get a picture at the same time. Yes, yes. The material probably couldn't get them in, couldn't get them in.
On the right-hand side, the house with the American and Ukrainian flag out front is the Edmonston Olsen House. One of my favorite house museums here in the city, right? So this was built 1828 of Mr. Edmonston. And when he built it, it was basically just a big Charleston single house. Not too fancy, right? Had a Regency style roof, but he falls on hard times to sell the home in the 1830s to a man named George Alston. George Alston is a Georgetown plantation owner. He wants a home here in the big city. There's all the social events are happening, politics, things like that. So he buys his house. And besides, it's not fancy enough for him. So he adds on the same one. It was a straight shot in the Charleston Harbor. Think about a lighthouse, same purpose, right? That's why he built his house at that angle, just so that feature could be put on there. It saved a lot of men's lives, and of course the goods they carried by doing that as well.
What did you say about over the door, that like, around that door?
The rope, there was a twisted rope.
What does that mean?
So that represents that he was a merchant, a shipper,
okay.
That's why he has that.
Okay.
Pink house here is a Palmer Mansion, 1848, after Palmer owned it in the 1900s. If you look through this block gate, the pink house back there with the arched doorway, that was the carriage house for this mansion right here, right? I think now it's like a mother-in-law suite, something like that. So they are someone's private residence here. On the left-hand side, this park is White Point Gardens, oldest park in Charleston, 1836. Some of these live oaks, that was the name of the hotel that was here late 1800s or 1900s. Theodore Roosevelt stayed here when it was a hotel, as well as the cast of Gone with the Wind for a second world premiere. They stayed here at this hotel. Wow. Beautiful Greek revival style building, tall Corinthian columns at the front of the house here, honeycomb balcony on the second floor, checkered marble, gas lanterns. They live on Netflix. Yeah. Season 3 filmed inside this White House right here on the corner. We watched it being filmed here. But this is Martha Williams' home. Okay, so the story goes, the day of her wedding, she wakes up to a note attached to her satin pillow. It says, "Darling, on the day of your dreams, build the house of your dreams. Love, Daddy." 1907 Queen Anne Victorian style. Beautiful turrets on the outside, shingling work here as well. Now she marries into the Carrington family. They're local jewelers. They are not to be outdone with that lavish wedding gift. They decide to send the couple on a honeymoon trip to Europe while the home is being built. While Martha's in Paris, France, when he's home to her father's father, "I love Paris. I never want to leave." Ooh, there's a mini Arc de Triomphe. Here is really poor after the Civil War. So how is he building this house here? Because he was smart. He actually funded blockade runners getting supplies into the city. He converts all of that Confederate money to English sterling. After the war.
side and their tail fluke will look like a second fin.
Yeah, it does when they're spinning around.
We were out here last summer. It's a small pond, strand.
We're getting so close. It's like, maybe like a couple weeks, a month from now, if we saw what was going on right there, there'd be a good chance they push up. It's like, it kind of comes to wait. Earlier.
Wow.
Is there going to be a time where they can start feeding the air and start to stop migrating out here? We're seeing mating.
He's flowing along there.
So everything's spreading. It'd be pretty cool if they end up in a place where they could breed, mate, do it all at any time of the year. There we go, shark behavior. Yeah, cool. Just kind of turn yourself into a wall. Turn it sideways in 6 inches of water, no fish getting past that.
That is cool.
I'm back now.
Last day of our trip, the evening, about 5 o'clock, we had a 7 o'clock dinner reservation at a restaurant called Church and Union, or Union and Church. It's a restaurant that's in a church and it's on North Market. And about 5 o'clock, something was hitting the windows. I said, "Dan, what is that?" It was hail. It was size of a dime hail coming down. And it just poured and poured. Well, Charleston is like in a bowl, very low. So where the market is, used to be called the slave market, but can't do that anymore. It's just the market. It flooded and our restaurant was just on the other side of the market, so we couldn't get to it. So Brenda and I dressed up for this great finale night we were gonna have at the restaurant. Couldn't get there unless we had waiters on or something. You just couldn't get there. It was flooded out, and I did put some video in there to show. Let me show you what I bought. First off, I wanted a picture of the houses on Rainbow Road, and there were so many to choose from. I really didn't know, but Brenda and I were walking back by this art shop, and they had this on display. So I bought this. It was framed, and I think it'll look great with my collection of Savannah and Charleston pictures and prints. So I'm happy to get that. I wish it had been in a gold frame to go with mine, so I may try putting a little rub and buff on it. So that's that. Market. I'm sorry. In the market, they had a booth. The guy uses that CC laser thing. I know you probably, if you watch Delightfully Southern, her husband has one of those where you cut words and designs into wood. So I bought this for my son because he and his wife love going to this beach, Edisto, I guess is how you say it. It's between Charleston and Savannah. So I bought that for them. And then I bought this little laser pineapple for me. And it's really pretty. That was what I purchased in the market. And then I purchased these, I did this before I bought that print of Rainbow Road, because I thought, well, I can just frame these postcards of Charleston. Brenda bought a box that had pictures of Rainbow Road, so we were gonna swap out, and still gonna do that. We just didn't have time to finish our swap, but I'll probably frame those. I also bought these. They have a very good shop on Meeting Street. It's the Historic Charleston, the Historic Charleston Foundation gift shop. And it's a great gift shop, a lot of books. I did buy books, I'll show you. But anyway, I have some prints of Charleston gates that most of the time have them sitting in a black frame in my secretary. So I wanted to get a couple more. Now those in my secretary are black and off-white. These have a little bit of color, but this is the gate to the Unitarian Church in Charleston that was built in 1772. And I have a picture of Brenda and I and my husband standing at this gate. And we did tour that church, which was very interesting. And then there's a picture. This little print is of the Robert Haig house built in 1786 on King Street. It's the gate there. You know, Charleston is very famous for its ironworks. A lot of the ironworks were destroyed during the Civil War because people donated them to the war effort, and they thought they were going to get them back, but you know, the South lost the war and we didn't get them back. But anyway, the ironworks are beautiful and stunning, so I got those to go with my other ones. Let me see what else. Got the stuff sitting over here. Okay. My husband, for his new bar, bought a mint julep cup. He bought that at the Historic Foundation store. Brenton bought me these were sitting there to check out, really cute little silver pineapple that I can just probably sit in my secretary. And let's see, maybe I haven't even unwrapped this stuff. I bought a little blue, they had tons of blue and white in that gift shop. Oh boy, can I have spent some money. But I just bought a little blue and white birdie. I don't know how well you can see it. Isn't it cute? And let's see what else. I think I have, hang on. I have some books I want to show you. When I was standing looking at the books in the Charleston Historic Foundation store, I was just looking at the books, and I picked up this book and I was browsing through it, Glimpses of Charleston, and a man walked in and he said, "You need to buy that book." I said, "Yeah, well, I was thinking about it." He said, "Well, I'm the author." I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's awesome." So I did buy it and he did sign it. I thought, what a wonderful coincidence. It says, "I'm glad I ran into you, and may all your glimpses be wonderful." And the author signed it. Isn't that neat? It's a great book. It has great photography, pictures in it. I mean, we just got home last night, so I haven't had a chance to really look through it, but it's great. Then I bought this book, and I have read this. I read this one night at the hotel. It's Plantations and Historic Homes of South Carolina. So it's not, they are, you know, Charleston is in here, but it's by counties in South Carolina. And I didn't realize how many plantations were still lived in or still standing along the coast of South Carolina. So this was a really interesting book. Oops. I bought this for my sister because it says the Private Gardens of Charleston. It's still got the cellophane on it. But you know, my sister is an avid gardener and has a yard that should be in Charleston. So I bought her this book. And the last two things I bought were for me. I saved my money and I knew I was going to get them when I went down there. When we were in the market, we went to the Charleston Shoe Company store and I bought 2 pairs of shoes. I bought these And, oh, it's already dirty. I did wear it. But the nice thing about these shoes, you could throw them in the washing machine. They said just throw them in with your towels and they can be washed. So I bought that pair, and I like the, has a little bit of heel, but not much. But, you know, comfy, you can run around town in them. And I bought these, which are a little dressier and a little bit higher heel. They're really comfortable. They were on my feet when I went through the flood in downtown, but they survived. You know, if they go through the washing machine, they got to go through that. But they're really cute and very, very comfortable. Everything is stretchy, elastic, very comfortable. I've been wanting a pair for a long time, and I wasn't sure what size I would wear because they didn't carry half sizes. So I wanted to wait till I got there to try them on. So that is all my goodies. While we were gone, Bodie stayed at the doggy hotel. I was very worried about it. It was his first overnight stay, and he stayed 4 nights. And they said he did great. He made a little black lab friend, and supposedly they were little buddies, and they played really hard. And they just talked about how easygoing and nice he is, which of course we knew that. We knew that, but I was afraid he might get homesick because it was the first time he'd left me, but he did fine. So thank you for stopping by, and if you like the video, let me know. You know, I didn't know whether to film it or if it would be something anyone would be interested in seeing. So if you don't want to watch it, I completely understand. But thank you so much for stopping by. I think my next video is going to be a book review. I've read enough now that I can do a review. So stay tuned for that in a few days. Y'all take care and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.